You know, when you walk through a city, most of us, we just see buildings, we see streets. But what if you could see the invisible stuff, the flows of money, of people, of demand that are actually shaping everything around you? Well, that's what we're going to do today. We're going to learn how to stop looking at the surface and start reading the economic code of your city.
So you've probably seen this before, right? You're walking down a street and you see three hotels, all right next to each other. And you think, how in the world do they all stay in business? It seems like a logical question, but here's the thing. It's the wrong question. If you want to think like a real operator, you got to realize you're starting from the wrong place entirely.
You have to completely flip your thinking. And this is the single most important lesson. Real estate does not create demand. It follows it, like a shadow. Those three hotels didn't just pop up by accident. They are there for a reason. They exist because something, some powerful force, is pulling a constant river of people with money to that exact spot. This right here, this is the fundamental shift in your brain that has to happen. It's the difference between a tourist brain and an investor brain. See, the tourist asks, oh, what's here? And just kind of looks around. But the investor asks, okay, why is this here? They reverse engineer the economic logic. It's the difference between just looking at your city and actually being able to read it.
Okay, so every single building, from the tiny corner store to the massive skyscraper, it only exists because four invisible forces, four flows, are converging on that one spot. Once you learn to see these, I promise you, you will never look at a street the same way again. Let's break them down.
First and most important is people flow. Who is physically moving through this space every single day? And why are they here? Are they students, office workers, tourists? And here's the critical part. Are they rich or are they broke? The constant movement of human beings is the absolute lifeblood of any commercial real estate.
Second, you've got to follow the money. Where is it actually being spent? Is this an area where the average person spends, $5 a day on their commute? Or is it a place where they're dropping 500 on dinner and drinks? It's a completely different economic game, and you have to know which one is being played. Third is access flow. Think of it like arteries and veins. How do people and also goods get into and out of this area? Is it a highway where everyone's just flying past? Or is it a destination? How easy is it to park? I'm telling you, in so many places, something as simple as easy parking can be the literal difference between a business thriving or dying.
And finally, there's the regulation flow. Now, this one is how the real insiders win. It's not just about what's zoned for commercial or residential. It's about knowing where the city is planning to put the next bus station or where they're going to invest in widening a road. Those infrastructure plans, they are massive flashing green lights that signal where future demand is going to be.
Okay, look, theory is great, but theory doesn't make you money. Execution does. So let's turn all of this into a practical system, a repeatable loop that you can use on any street anytime you're out in the field. This six-step loop, this is your new identity. It's your new mental model for how you look at the world. You're not just some person walking down the street anymore. No, you're an analyst, and you're breaking it down piece by piece. This is how you go from just seeing patterns to actually pulling out the economic logic behind them. All right, step one, and listen to me, this one is absolutely non-negotiable. You must find the anchor. The anchor is the main engine. It's the one big reason that a critical mass of people are forced to show up to this specific spot, day in and day out. Just think about a big hospital. It's a 24/7 human magnet, right? You've got patients, doctors, nurses, visitors, a constant flow. That powerful gravitational pull is what creates the demand for an entire ecosystem of other businesses, pharmacies, restaurants, flower shops, and hotels. If you can't find the anchor, you can't understand the street. The rest of your analysis is basically useless. Okay, let's get our hands dirty. I'm going to teach you a skill that feels a bit like a superpower. You don't need access to some private spreadsheet to figure out if a business is making money. You can get surprisingly close just by using your own two eyes. Let's go back to those three hotels. You're not going to guess their revenue. You're going to triangulate it using three key variables you can find yourself. First, you look at the building and count the windows to get a rough estimate of the number of rooms. Second, you walk right in and ask the front desk, hey, how much for a room tonight? And third, this is the secret, you come back late at night and you look at the parking lot. That tells you the occupancy. The truth is always revealed at night. Now, the math here is dead simple. Let's say you figure there are 15 cars, so 15 occupied rooms, and they told you it's about $100 a night. Boom, that's $1,500 in revenue for the day. Now, is that number perfect? No, of course not. But it is 10 times better than knowing nothing. You've gone from guessing to seeing the money flow. So once you get really good at this street-level analysis, once it becomes second nature, you can start to zoom out. You can take that same logic that governs one city block and apply it to understand the huge patterns that make an entire district grow, stagnate, or die. You see, pretty much every area goes through this life cycle. It starts in the pioneer phase, it's cheap, it's risky, not much there. Then comes the growth phase, you see the cranes go up, new money is flowing in. And finally, it hits the peak phase. Now it's expensive, it's crowded, it's a saturated market. The amateur shows up at the peak. The pro knows the real opportunity was way back at the beginning. And this is it. This is the whole game. Timing isn't about luck, it's about pattern recognition. It's having the guts to get in when an area is still in that rough, cheap pioneer phase, because your analysis, your understanding of the underlying demand tells you that growth is basically inevitable. Seeing the patterns, understanding demand, that's the foundation. But to actually become an operator, to be the person who acts on that knowledge, well, that requires a whole other stack of skills you have to build right on top. And really, it comes down to 7. There are 7 essential skills that build the bridge from just analyzing something to actually profiting from it. These are what separate the spectators from the players. You have to know how to find deals nobody else is seeing. You have to analyze the numbers cold, without emotion. You gotta be a shark in a negotiation. You need to be able to raise the money, manage the asset, understand the regulations, and get the timing right. That whole stack, that's how real wealth gets built. But here's the single most important thing I can tell you today. Demand analysis, it isn't just one of those 7 skills. It's not on the list. Why? Because it's the foundation for all of them. It is the operating system that runs underneath everything else. If you get your demand analysis wrong, you'll find bad deals, you'll analyze garbage data, and you'll raise money for a project that is guaranteed to fail. So it all comes down to a choice. You can be a person who just talks about this stuff, or you can be a person who can walk into any city, anywhere in the world, and read it like it's code. So what's the next step? It's not to watch another video. Your mission is simple. Go outside tomorrow, pick one street, and run the system. That's how you earn it. That's how you get to the next level.